Oh, I don't even have this set up right. Golly. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good day, everybody. It's Monday. How are you guys doing? My name is Stuart Davis, Flawed Man of God, and welcome to our little corner of the internet, our corner of YouTube, where we put aside a space for us to talk about faith issues, Christianity, and how it affects our lives. Now, we're in the middle of something. Um, which is a multi-year project of going through the Bible. We're reading it verse by verse from Genesis to Revelation, do a couple chapters a night. And as we go through it, we are just giving our opinions on things. When I say our and I say we, that means us, right? It's not, this is kind of a small group setting. I'm putting my camera on here. And where's my background? That's what's missing. That's what was throwing me off. Where's my picture? Ah. Never overlay. Is it this? Nope. It's supposed to be stretched out. Oh well. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. Or won't. Something will happen. Anyway, I said our. I say we because this is a small group setting. We are talking about things. Now I'm putting my face out here. Background not included, apparently. But I'm putting my face out here. And you can put your comments in the chat. Chat's a great group. We've got folks who tune in and night out, and you guys, y'all help make this show better, right? What makes it the best is scripture, but what kind of adds a little bit on top of that is you guys balancing me out with your own thoughts and your own input, and it's welcome. I don't care if you are somebody who is, smarter in the faith than me. If you've got something that you want to correct me on, or you want to, kind of educate me on, or in the rest of the stream, or if you're somebody who is brand new to Christianity, or maybe you're not even a Christian yet, but you're hearing that call, you're feeling that desire to go to church, and you just want to ask questions. You just want to see what it's like to hang out with a bunch of Christians, you know, talking about what we believe. That's great. You are welcome to be part of that chat. This is not a place where you have to be super chatted. You have to super chat to get your words read. That's not what we're here to do. This is not a for-profit stream. Never has been, never will be. This is just a place for us to get together and strengthen each other, hold each other accountable, share what we're struggling with, what we've got to praise, what you need us to pray for, whatever that may be. And this is not denominationally specific. I'm non-denominational, but I'm open to hearing the perspective from Catholics, Lutherans, Anglicans, Orthodox, Baptists, Presbyterians, you name it. Though we do have, there are some denominations that are beyond the guardrails, but but we want to hear from you, and we want you to be a part of this, and we want to grow in our faith. We want to grow in our learning together. And with that said, let's get the night started off. Yes, we are missing the background, and I still haven't figured out what's going on with that. However, I was not streaming the Thursday of last week. My brother came into town, and it's great because it's time we get to see him. Usually, it's me visiting him for something work related. I'm in the area, up in the Philadelphia area. And I stop in, get to spend some time with him, go pick the kids up from school, see my nieces and nephews. Great time, and eat some good food. Philly for The cons are many, but one of the big pros is the food is excellent up there, and I enjoy the company as well. This time he came down. We got to hang out, spend some time together. It was great, and you know, so I didn't stream that night. He was over here, and that throws everything for a loop. But it was good. It was good. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. Maybe y'all had family in or something like that. Just like I said, I want you guys to have a great weekend all the time. And I know with us being in different seasons in our lives, being in different places in our lives, some of y'all might be in a place where you're struggling. Some people where it might be in y'all are on cloud nine, or you're just grinding through every day. But we're all here today. We're all here tonight. And I see Carl, the Carl that we know and love, there. How's it going this evening, sir? Matt Felty, waving to the group. Adding some steaks for the freezer, cutting some steaks for freezer, and dinner will be quiet for a bit. Oh man, I had stuff cooked up. Look, we had friends over yesterday, so I was cooking chunks of chicken breasts. I was grilling, cut up chicken cubes. Use them for put them in a salad or whatever. Chicken breasts, some steaks, even some trout. And I was working that grill hard last night. Working it hard. So, but that's steaks are my favorite thing. Steaks are my favorite thing to grill. Surprised we didn't manage to do some shrimp. I mean, since I was grilling almost everything under the sun, it felt like. So flaws are okay. Yeah, we are a flawed stream right now. So I can put the comments on here. Huh. I gotta figure that out. Oh well. That would be great. Especially I've said this before. Sorry, I'm gonna go into this. We're actually gonna get into scripture reading pretty quick tonight. I've said this before. I've been debating also streaming on Kick. It means removing one of my Facebook simul streams, but I stream on my personal I stream on my personal Facebook page, this stream, and I also have a Flawed Man of God on Facebook page, which I stream on as well. I don't get hardly any traction, it feels like, on the site. So what I might try to do is just move that to Kick. See what happens. I tried to do it with Rumble. Rumble seems like it's floundering, and they still don't have an easy way to set up a stream. So I'm really just kind of disregarding that one. But I think, but they do have an ability to do it with Kick, so I might try that out. That'll be interesting, and I could add the chat in there for both YouTube chatters, Facebook chatters, and Kick chatters. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It does bother me they don't have the background. Well, background or not, we're going to get into Jeremiah tonight. Now we're on the second half of Jeremiah. We're still kind of pretty much in the middle, but we're on the second half of Jeremiah, and where we've been with Jeremiah now is the invasion has begun. They are undergoing the occupation and the scattering, the exile that we've read about before, and where we saw at the end of Kings and at the end of Chronicles, where ultimately the Babylonians come in and take over and scatter these people. And we see it's foretold in Isaiah, and we see Jeremiah at the beginning of this chapter or beginning of this book trying to warn everybody. Well, nobody listens to the warnings, and the guys who do listen to the warnings are just getting mad about it and saying, "Why are you predicting all this bad stuff? God already made an agreement with us. He's not going to do these things. You're just a Debbie Downer. You're just very negative, and we don't believe you." And they've gone as far as trying to hurt him. And I think that will continue now, just understanding what I know about this chapter. So this is kind of giving you an idea. Everything that Jeremiah and Isaiah has predicted up until this point has come to pass, right? There's still some prophecies from that are further out, but what they've run into is Isaiah and Jeremiah. What they're telling them is happening is coming true. And I can be that's a little bit frustrating. Nobody likes to be told that, nobody likes to be around a know-it-all, but of course it does help when the person actually does know it all. And the knowledge is not coming from them being smug. The knowledge is coming from God warning you. Stop it. Stop this madness. Stop this degeneracy. Knock it off. You know you're not supposed to be doing it, and yet here you are. Emmanuel Sorio is here. What's going on, Emmanuel? So let's get into the reading. Chapter 36, Jeremiah's scroll read in the temple. In the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, take a scroll of parchment and write it on all the words which I have spoken to you concerning Israel and Judah and all the nations from the day I first spoke to you in the days of King Josiah until this day. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the disaster which I plan to bring on them, so that each one will turn from his evil way, that I may forgive their wickedness and their sin. And then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote on the scroll of the book all the words which Jeremiah dictated, words which the Lord had spoken to him. Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am in hiding, virtually restrained. I cannot go into the house of the Lord. So you go into the Lord's house on a day of fasting and read from the scroll the words of the Lord to the people with which you have written as I dictated. And also you shall read them to all the people of Judah who come from their cities. It may be that their supplication for mercy will come before the Lord, and everyone will turn from his evil way. For great is the anger and the wrath that the Lord has pronounced against this people. Baruch, the son of Neriah, did everything that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, reading from Jeremiah's scroll the words of the Lord in the Lord's house. Now, in the 5th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, in the 9th month, a fast was proclaimed before the Lord for all the people in Jerusalem and all the people who came to Jerusalem from the cities of Judah. Then Baruch read to all the people the words of Jeremiah from the scroll of the book in the house of the Lord. In the chamber of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, the scribe, in the upper court, at the entry of the new gate of the Lord's house. When Micaiah, the son of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard all the words of the Lord from the scroll, he went down to the king's house, into the scribe's chamber, and behold, all the princes were sitting there. Elishama, the scribe, Delaiah, the son of Shemaiah. Here we go with the names. Elnathan, the son of Akbor, Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, Zedekiah, the son of Hananiah, and all the other princes. Then Micaiah declared to them all the words that he had heard when Baruch read from the scroll to all the people. Therefore all the princes sent Jehudi, the son of Nethaniah, the son of Shemaliah, the son of Cushi, to Baruch, saying, take in your hand the scroll from which you have read to the people, and come to us. So Baruch, the son of Neriah, took the scroll in his hand and went to them. And they said to him, sit down now and read it to us. So Baruch read it to them. Now when they had heard all the words, they turned one to another in fear and said to Baruch, we must surely report all these words to the king. And they asked Baruch, tell us now, how did you write all these words? At Jeremiah's dictation. Then Baruch answered them, he dictated all these words to me, and I wrote them with ink on the scroll. Then the princes said to Baruch, go and hide, you and Jeremiah, and do not let anyone know where you are. All right. So, sorry, every time we get into this name thing, I start to stumble on the reading. And I hate it when it gets into, look, it's hard enough to read the word, but then I got to, right on the back of it, piggybacking, is the lineage, right? And okay, Elishama the scribe, Deliah, the son of Shemaiah. Okay, there we go. But then we got Elnathan, the son of Akbor, and then we go all the way down to Jehudi, the son of Nethaniah, the son of Shalemiah, the son of Cushi. It's like, why? Why so much? I'm sure that there's a purpose behind it. I just don't know. I don't know why they put all the lineage in there. I'm sure there's a purpose. I'm sure that if you talk to somebody who's smarter about the scriptures than me, there is actually. But for our understanding, we're just trying to get we're just trying to get the narrative out of this. What's going on, Jenny? How's it going, ma'am? It's good to see you as always. Okay, so God says to Jeremiah, right? Go ahead and write all this down. Giving you lots of prophecy, giving you lots of words which to warn these people. Write it down. And we need to get it read. We need to read it to these people. They've still got a chance. So we've kind of gone back in time a little bit. This is before the fall of Judah, before the fall of Jerusalem, so that we know this at this point. So we're kind of going back in time a little bit. Jeremiah calls on Baruch. Baruch's going to be his scribe. He's like, hey, I'm going to tell you this stuff. I'm going to, from my lips to your ears to that pen and paper, that ink and parchment, we're going to write this down. And so he does. And so Jeremiah said, look, I'm under watch. I can't go anywhere. They're certainly not going to let me into the temple. Certainly not going to let me into the temple. So you need to do it. And you need to do it on a day of fast. Funny thing is, this is a little off topic. Funny thing is, yesterday at church, pastor was talking about fasting. And he was like, oh, guys, I know this is going to be kind of boring. I know that this is not an exciting topic. And I'm sitting there going, yes, it's a sermon on fasting. You never hear fasting. I think I've heard one sermon in my life about fasting at a church I've been a member of. And it's something that we need to know more about. Now, if you guys want to hear a good perspective on it, there's an episode from a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, I did with the Rafter. He was it was kind of a short stream because he ended up getting called away, but he was talking about fasting. It's a really good perspective from somebody who very traditional Catholic, but he also fasts a lot. And I think that what he says translates to any other Christian pretty well. And I like this perspective on it. Anyway, so my pastor was talking about it, and I'm like, he goes, fasting is mentioned more in the Bible than baptism is. And lo and behold, where we go, fasting. Fasting is a place, it's almost like a spiritual washing, a spiritual cleansing to get yourself focused on things. So, he's timing this where if it's a time of fasting, it's a time that's holy. And it's also a time where heads should be the most clear. And so, where were we at? Oh, okay. So, so Jeremiah says, look, wait until it's a time of fasting, go in there and then read it. So Baruch does exactly that. He's going in there, he starts reading it out. Some dude hears it, and he goes and runs and tells the princes of Judah exactly what happened. Now, one of the interesting things, one of the princes of Judah is the heir apparent, who ends up becoming the where is it? Who ends up becoming the king of Judah, and that is Zedekiah, the son of Hananiah. Anyway, so he's like, hey, I just came from the temple. Dude man's out there reading this stuff. You guys have got to hear what he's saying. And so they hear some, the Cliff Notes version. They'll go get that man and bring him here. So he gets that man, he brings him here. They tell Baruch, tell us exactly what you wrote down. And he told him, and they're like, is this it? Is this how you did it? He goes, yep, he dictated it to me. I wrote it on the scroll. And they said, you and Jeremiah need to get out of here and don't let anybody know where you are. So, let's see where this is going. The scroll is burned. Verse 20. Then they went into the court to the king, but they first put the scroll in the chamber of Elishama, the scribe. Then they reported all the words to the king. So the king sent Jehudi to go get the scroll. And he took it out of the chamber of Elishama, the scribe, and Jehudi read it to the king and all the princes who stood beside the king. Now it was the 9th month, and the king was sitting in the winter house with a fire burning there in the brazier before him. And after Jehudi had read 3 or 4 columns of the scroll, King Jehoiakim would cut off that portion with a scribe's knife and throw it into the fire that was in the brazier until the entire scroll was consumed by fire. Yet the king and all his servants who heard all these words were not afraid, nor did they tear their clothes. Even though Elnathan and Delaiah and Gemariah pleaded with the king not to burn the scroll, he would not listen to them. And the king commanded Jerahmeel, the king's son, Sariah, the son of Azriel, and Shelemiah, the son of Abdiel, to seize Baruch the scribe and Jeremiah the prophet. But the Lord hid them. Yeah, he did. So the princes take this, and I guess this is the level of respect and understanding that they have for Jeremiah, that they know what he says carries weight enough that Jeremiah's prophesied some pretty serious stuff. All these princes go, we need to take this to the king. So they take it to the king, tell him what's in there. King tells them to go get it. They get it. They start reading it off the scroll, and he gets a couple of passages in, and the king just shears it off that part and throws it into the fire. The unmitigated gall. And I get that he's the king, and I get the idea that he thinks he's in charge, and he might have some command. But you have just taken the words of God that is a warning to you, and you have just thrown them in the fire. Now, it's nothing that God couldn't replace with the snap of with even a thought. But we know what this is. It's a expression of disrespect. It's an expression of dismissal, right? He doesn't care. Either he knows and he's not going to listen, or he's refusing to believe that this is what it is. It does not take away from the fact of what the truth is. He has thrown away, or he has thrown into a fire, words of the Lord. Words of warning. And apparently some of the princes were like, don't do this, dad, or don't do this, uncle, however they landed in the hierarchy. But however, these princes, some of them were like, no, please don't do this. Didn't care. He's the king, right? And he's mad. He's mad because he's being confronted with a lot of words he doesn't like. And so they've been now he's put a bounty out, basically. He's put a bolo out on Baruch and Jeremiah. But they were already on their way to go hiding, and the Lord's got their back. The Lord has got their back. Emmanuel says it's the exact opposite of the book of Grudges. We need to keep the people in the know of who's faithful. The scroll is replaced. I love that. Scroll came back. They thought it was a goner. The scroll came back. Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah after the king had burned the scroll containing the words which Baruch had written at the dictation of Jeremiah. Take another scroll and write on it all the former words that were on the first scroll, which Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, burned. And concerning Jehoiakim, king of Judah, you shall say, thus says the Lord, you have burned the scroll, saying, why have you written on it that the king of Babylon will certainly come and destroy this land and cut off man and beast from it? Therefore, thus says the Lord concerning Jehoiakim, king of Judah, he shall have no heir to sit on the throne of David, and his dead body shall be thrown out to the heat of the day and to the frost of the night. I will also punish him and his descendants and his servants for their wickedness, and I will bring on them and the inhabitants of Jerusalem and the men of Judah all the destruction that I have declared against them. But they would not listen. Then Jeremiah took another scroll and gave it to Baruch the scribe, the son of Neriah, who wrote on it at the dictation of Jeremiah all the words of the scroll which Jehoiakim king of Judah had burned in the fire, and many similar words were added to them. All right, well, exactly what you thought could have happened would. I mean, he could have caused Jehoiakim to just sit there and just be struck dead immediately. But no, he goes, look, king's destroyed this scroll. You're going to replace it, Jeremiah. And we're also going to send a word of sentencing to Jehoiakim. And the footnote here is the prophecy concerning King Jehoiakim was fulfilled several years after these events. The king rebelled against Babylon in 2 Kings 24:1 and was attacked by armies from various nations controlled by Babylon. The very next verse. He suffered a violent death and a disgraceful burial, just as Jeremiah had foretold. In that passage, after scathing censure of the king, the Lord foretells through his prophet that Jehoiakim will be buried like a donkey. That is, with his body thrown outside the gates of Jerusalem. A very Jezebelian ending, it seems. But, what do you expect? What an idiot. Like, it feels like sin it does. It makes you stupid. It makes you stupid. You do stupid things, and you don't listen when you should. That's my part. That's that's what I get out of this. Oof. All right. Hang on. All right. Chapter 37. Jeremiah warns against trust in Pharaoh. Yeah. Remember Pharaoh, several hundred years before this, right? Thousands of years at this point, I think. Now, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, made Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king in the land of Judah. So there we go. I think I said earlier that Zedekiah was Jehoiakim's son. Wrong. Zedekiah, I think, was Jehoiakim's brother. Right. Jehoiakim, we know about his fate. So now we're back in kind of during the occupation, and Zedekiah has been captured. Nebuchadnezzar makes Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king in the land of Judah. So he reigned as king instead of Coniah, also called Jeconiah, and Jehoiachin, the son of Jehoiakim. But neither he nor his servants nor the people of the land listened to the words of the Lord which he spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Yet King Zedekiah sent Jehukal, the son of Shelemiah, along with Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah, the priest, to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, please pray now to the Lord our God for us. Now Jeremiah was coming and going among the people, for they had not yet put him in prison. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's army had set out from Egypt. And when the Chaldeans who were besieging Jerusalem heard the news about them, they withdrew from Jerusalem. Then the word of the Lord came to the prophet Jeremiah. Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, this is what you are to say to the king of Judah, who sent you to me to inquire of me. Behold, Pharaoh's army, which has come out to help you, will return to Egypt, to their own land, and the Chaldeans of Babylon will come again and fight against this city, and they will capture it and set it on fire. Thus says the Lord, do not deceive yourselves, saying, the Chaldeans will certainly stay away from us, for they will not stay away. For even if you had defeated the whole army of the Chaldeans who fight against you, and there remained only the wounded men among them, yet they would rise up, every man confined in his tent, and burn down this city with fire. All right. So I guess the trust in Pharaoh is the support's going to be fleeting. So that's what we see. While Zedekiah is king in exile, I guess, he sends word to Jeremiah saying, hey, tell God to, or pray to us to God, advocate for us. Now, they haven't done anything that God, any of the things that God has asked them to do. They're still doing the stupid, wicked things that they've been doing. But I guess there is at least a gesture of asking God to stop the punishment, stop withdrawing and turning away from them. So God's response really is to just say, Egypt's coming and it's chasing the Chaldeans away. It's not for good. And eventually Egypt is going to leave. It's going to be sooner than later. And when they're gone, the Chaldeans are coming back and they're going to do exactly what I've been telling you they're going to do. They're going to take over the place and they're going to put it to the torch. They're going to, what does he always say? You hear this several times in Jeremiah. Hold on. They will capture it and set it on fire. Everything. They're going to take it over. They're going to set it on fire. Even if you defeated them and all they had were the woman, even if you had defeated them and all they had were the wounded would get up and light this place on fire. They would capture it and set it on fire. There's no getting around this. They keep thinking they can put this off. All they have to do, they really are like children. They're like adolescent children. All they have to do is just do what was asked of them. Do what was expected of them. Stop doing the bad things. But they are so committed. They are so committed to their sin that it seems like it doesn't even occur to them at times, which is sad. Jeremiah imprisoned. Oh no. Jeremiah imprisoned. Now it happened when the army of the Chaldeans departed from Jerusalem for fear of Pharaoh's approaching army that Jeremiah left Jerusalem during the withdrawal of the Chaldean invaders to go to Anathoth, his hometown, in the land of Benjamin, to take possession of the title to the land which he had purchased there among the people. When he was at the gate of Benjamin, a captain of the guard whose name was Irijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah, was there, and he seized and arrested Jeremiah the prophet, saying, you are deserting to join the Chaldeans of Babylon. But Jeremiah said, that is a lie. I'm not deserting to go to the Chaldeans. But the guard would not listen to him. So Irijah took Jeremiah and brought him to the prince's court officials. The princes were enraged with Jeremiah and beat him and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah had come into the vaulted cell in the dungeon and had remained there many days. When Jeremiah had come into the vaulted cell in the dungeon and had remained there many days. It just sounds awkward. Sorry about that, guys. Zedekiah the king sent and brought him out. And in this palace, the king secretly asked him, is there any word from the Lord? And Jeremiah said, there is. Then he said, you will be handed over to the king of Babylon. Moreover, Jeremiah said to King Zedekiah, in what way have I sinned against you, or against your servants, or against this people, that you have put me in prison? Where then are your prophets who prophesied to you, saying the king of Babylon will not come against you or against this land? Therefore now, please listen. O my lord the king, please let my petition come before you and be acceptable. And do not make me return into the house of Jonathan the scribe, that I may not die there. Then King Zedekiah commanded, And they committed Jeremiah to the court of the guardhouse, and the round loaf of bread from the baker's street was given to him daily until all the bread in the city was gone. So Jeremiah remained imprisoned in the court of the guardhouse. Oh, so Jeremiah's going to go visit his hometown. As he's leaving, big government comes in. What are you doing? What are you doing? And he said, You're abandoning us. You're deserting us, and you're going to go join the Babylonians, you big chicken. And Jeremiah said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, either because he genuinely believed Jeremiah was, or he was under orders to stop him, or he just wanted to be his own brand of disobedience. He throws Jeremiah in prison. Now, the princes that are there, they're mad at him. They start beating him. And they're taking out what are they doing? They're taking out their own frustrations for the fact that they were warned and didn't listen. And now all this stuff is happening. And they're taking it out on poor Jeremiah, who's only doing the right thing, doing exactly what's asked of him, and giving them as much, he's giving them as much to listen to and understand and heed as they need, more than that. And yet, this is how they treat him. And what happens after that? Zedekiah comes to the prison in secret. He's like, hey, God say anything about me? God mentioned me? Jeremiah goes, yeah, you're going to get captured to the king of Babylon. And he goes, and look, what have I done? What have I really done to deserve being in here? All I've done is what God has asked me. All I've done is try to help you. Where are your other prophets now? All the ones who said I was wrong. All the ones who said that none of this stuff was going to happen. That we were perfectly fine where we were. What happened to them? Why aren't you talking to them? I'd be interested to see what really happened to them. Because it was, you know they're wrong, and you know I'm right. That's why you're standing there. So please listen. Don't send me back. Don't send me back to the scribe house. I don't want to die there. And it almost sounds like he's asking so he can go back to his journey to the house or to his hometown. But Zedekiah just gives into the guardhouse. And there he's stuck there. But they were sending him bread for as long as they have it. Now remember, it's a siege, so food's one of the first things to start dwindling. So as soon as the bread was gone, he wasn't getting it. But as long as they had some, they were giving him there. So what do we see at the end? We see him occupied. Jeremiah's in prison. He's under prison for stupid things. But the king knows. He's not saying it outwardly. This is so ridiculous. Clearly everything that happened, and maybe God's told you it's too late. Or maybe he's under the impression that it's too late for him. That shouldn't stop you from doing the right thing. But hey, if doing the right thing was important to them, they would have stopped doing a lot of this nonsense a long time ago. They've been doing what feels good. Doing what feels good doesn't mean you're doing what is actually right. And if you're honest and objective with yourself, you should be able to figure that out. So, all right, real quiet night for the most part in the chat, guys, but always glad to see you guys there. Carl, Matthew, Jenny, and Emmanuel Sorio. Hey, man, you know I'm right. Yeah, we know. That's right. He's like, hey, who are you going to believe? Your prophets or me? The guy who's right. You can almost hear Jeremiah in a New York accent at that point. I'm prophesying here. Anyway, thank you guys in the chat. Love seeing you there. Love how y'all make this show better. I appreciate it. And always want to make sure you guys know. You know, love it when a message pops up, even if it's just, hey, how's it going? Love seeing that you're here. To everybody who is not in the chat but listening, hey, I understand you might not want to, you might not be able to, whatever reason. I'm glad you're here still all the way, but I want you to know I want to hear from you. So if there's any time you want to chime in, please do so. I welcome it. And everybody catching this on replay, sorry I missed you, but thank you for watching. I hope to catch you live sometime soon. Should be streaming tomorrow. We'll see. Veterans Day. And everybody pour some out for tonight for the Edmund Fitzgerald 50 years. Good shipping crew. And you guys have a good night, and God bless.